Black women are being used by the Democrat Party.
All of these socioeconomic indicators are in the negative, particularly for Black people. They want mob rule. When Trump was in office, please somebody tell me what act of dictatorship did he perform?
She had Donald Trump's hair on top of her head. And she's sitting here talking about brown girl this, brown girl that.
Because she's a Black woman.
They would ask her how to spell her first name and clap like sea monkeys.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
We should note, again, and you and I have said this on the air many times, there is no evidence that Joe Biden was, involved in any wrongdoing.
Of course, want to note that there is no evidence that Joe Biden or Hunter Biden has done anything wrong.
I just want to reiterate.
And let's be clear for the viewers.
There is no evidence Biden did anything wrong.
Governor, you got a second?
Literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I don't believe it.
This is why independent media is so important. Thanks to people like you, patriots who love America and stand for truth, we're making a difference. Together, we've turned them off, called them out for their lies and propaganda, and held them accountable for their disdain for God-fearing, freedom-loving Americans like us. But we can't stop here. It's time to take action with our dollars. Let's make 2025 the year we double down on our commitment to values-driven choices. Vote with your dollars. Support Made in America. Back companies that honor our families, faith, and country. We found an exciting way to make this switch, and we want you to join us. Check out www.popandswitch.com and click Yes, I Want to Make the Switch. It's that easy. It's time to walk away from corporations like BlackRock and Vanguard that undermine our principles. Let's invest in America. Let's support businesses that share our love for this country. You don't have to take on everything at once, but you can start here. Join us in making this one small yet powerful step. Visit www.popandswitch.com. Click the link and schedule a call with our team to learn how you can make the switch. Together, we can create real change. What's up, everybody? It's time. It's Monday. This is our Monday Night Live, and it's time for Pop and Politics. I'm KJ. Let me introduce you to my co-host. Of course, it's Monday, so we have Soldiers of Finance back with us tonight. He's always here every Monday night. We have Nicole and Shelly E. All right, before I dive in, I see a bunch of you are out here. You're watching tonight. What I have over 100 people watching, and we do not have that many likes. So folks, get the likes up. We're only around 50 likes right now. I want to see those likes increase. It really does help us to increase our voice here on YouTube. So please hit that like button. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe. We are here on YouTube. We're also on Rumble, and you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify under the name Pop and Politics. We love our chat. We shout out all our super chats, so it's the best way to get your voice heard in the conversation and to show your love for conservative content. This is not just a podcast. This is a movement of God-fearing, truth-seeking, America-loving people that value freedom. Stand with us, subscribe, so you can amplify, or we can amplify, this rallying call for freedom. All right, everybody, let's set it off. Tons to talk about tonight. I want to just open it up with Tom Homan. Tom Homan is the man of 2025. This man is his job. He is out at, of course, he's the border czar, and he was actually out in, I believe it was Chicago, a couple nights ago, performing raids to deport undocumented immigrants, illegals, in sanctuary cities. He was in Chicago. This is him right here, clip 1. Take a look.
What's your name?
Seda.
Seda what? You have a first and last name?
Sam.
Seda Sam?
Yes.
Where are you from?
Where I was born or where I'm from?
Where are you born?
Thailand.
You been deported before from the United States?
No.
Never been deported?
But I've been in the system before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you been charged with
Charged for it?
before?
I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna talk about lawyer.
Yeah. Are you a citizen?
My mom's a citizen.
Your mother's a citizen?
Yes.
But you're not?
Nope.
But you've never been deported before?
You Dr. Phil. You look like Dr. Phil.
Yeah? How do you know me?
No, I seen Dr. Phil, you know, on TV.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is an example of sanctuary cities, right? We got an illegal alien convicted of sex crimes involving children, and he's walking the streets of Chicago. Again, the downfall, the problem with the sanctuary city, that people like us walking the street rather than local law enforcement working with federal agents. This is what we're dealing with. Yeah. You've been charged with sex crimes with children?
Not really.
Not really? And never been deported?
Nope.
Huh. Let's take them in, process them, lock them up.
Got it, sir.
All right. Can you get a transport vehicle?
Working on it. Okay.
Nicole, this is what we saw coming over the border. Military-age men like him, and he's a criminal. He's committed crimes. You know, but the left is pushing back against this. What are your thoughts on that exchange?
Listen, he's a criminal all day, every day. He was a criminal when he jumped the border. He came here and he was lawless. He should be deported. There should be no question. In fact, listen, my border policy is this: absolutely no fighting age men from any nation should migrate to the United States. Stay in your home country. Build your country. Build your country. You know, you often hear people from Mexico talk about how quickly they work and build things. I can't tell. I've been to Mexico several times, right? The touristy parts are you know, kind of nice. But when you think about it, if they stayed in their home country, how much better would that nation be doing? So we're doing everybody a favor. They have to be repatriated. They cannot stay.
Now, Shelley, you hear Nicole. Now, when people hear something like that, they say she's being xenophobic. She's, you know, this country was built on immigrants. Well, how do you respond to that, Shelley?
I'm going to quote a very, very famous line that we're all probably familiar with. Rhett Butler told Scarlett O'Hara, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. They can stay where they need to stay. I don't care where they go, but illegals don't belong here. I have no apologies and on purpose. I have zero guilt or a false sense of compassion, and I want to look like I'm being, you know, nice and considerate. I don't give a damn. Send them back. Don't let them come. Protect our borders. I don't know how more clear I can be. Get them out.
Yeah, soldiers of finance. What are your thoughts on that exchange and what we see going on right now with these mass deportations?
I'm 100% behind it. We have had 4 successful years of Donald Trump in 7 days. And I want more. I want more, but he's fulfilling his promise that he made to the American people. This is nothing new. This is what he led with in 2016, in 2016. So I'm all for it. Trump recently said, I think it was yesterday, he wants to step it up. We're getting 1,000 a day out of here. He wants to step it up to 1,500 and then go from there. So I back him 100%.
Well, not everyone feels this way. So today, a viral video of Selena Gomez crying about these massive deportations has flooded the internet this morning. This is clip 7. Take a look.
I just want to say that I'm so sorry. All my people are getting attacked. The children. I don't understand. I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't. I don't know what to do. I'll try everything, I promise. I'll try.
You know what, KJ?
What's wrong with this girl? So she said, you heard her. She said, these are my people. Now, this woman has lived in America. I think she was born here. And I think her dad is Mexican. Her mom is white, but she was raised by her mother. She's a multi-millionaire from young. She was a child star, and now she is still a movie. She got a movie out now. I think it's Oscar nominated. And she's also a singer, multi-millionaire, and she's crying on the screen like this. I want to start with you, Soldiers of Finance. Do you show any sympathy for this woman as she cries over these deportations?
No, I think we need to shame her because she is pretty much advocating for those who have committed SA, deletions, violent assaults. Those are the people who have been removed so far. So she's actually crying, shedding real tears over monsters being removed from our society. She's sick and she needs to be absolutely shamed.
Yeah. Shelly, what are your thoughts to see her cry like that?
Not a damn, it doesn't move me one bit. It really doesn't. I'm going to echo Rhett again. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. I'm sick of the acting 101. I mean, she, like you said, she's already nominated for whatever the Oscars and whatever other awards for her work. Fine, do it there. But all of this is BS. This is nothing but to work people up in their emotions. And Tyrone is right. These are the same people who will claim that Trump is a convicted felon and you know the law must be upheld, but they are protecting the worst of the worst. And knock on wood, President Trump told us that in 2016, 2017, that they don't send us their best. They send us the murderers, the rapists, and any other illegal. That's what they send us. If Selena wants to be with them people, send her. She has plenty of money. Nobody's stopping her from going.
And real quick, on that note, they're not sending us our best, their best rather. To that point, Colombia, they didn't even want to take their nationals back.
Exactly. You know, that the problem that we're going to have with these libertards out here crying and, you know, thumping their chest and all this kind of foolishness behind this removing of criminals from our midst. Selena can pack her shit. She can pack her shit. I'm 100% with Evie. She doesn't need a GoFundMe. She doesn't need a free flight. In fact, she has enough money where she can pack up a plane full of her people and her crocodile tears and get the hell out of here. I have had it with her. I got sent that video maybe 6 times today, and people were like, don't you feel sorry for her? I don't feel sorry for her. Where do I feel sorry for her? You know, she's sitting in her house in the Hollywood Hills, and I'm at work working like a Hebrew slave. I'm supposed to feel sorry for her? Miss me with those tears. Miss me. Miss me.
Well, you have the liberal media who is out here, and they're saying that, you know, they're trying to make it seem like Trump is doing such a horrible thing. People are upset with him. But a new survey out today, I believe, or at least within the recent days conducted, says that in the first few days of President Trump's second term, this is according to Town Hall, shows voters are split on the job he's doing so far, but he did get us some surprising marks among one demographic. More Black voters approve of Trump's job performance than white voters, 69% to 50%. I mean, this is incredible. More Black voters approve of this Republican president. What do you think? What do you think on that? What do you all think on that?
Well,
Nicole?
it's clear. I mean, look at the places where they're putting the illegal immigrants. Okay.
Right.
This thing has turned Chicago red. Black people. This has turned the Democrat mayor of New York into damn near Ronald Reagan clone on some, issues. So when you look at, and now if you're one of these white people up in, Martha's Vineyard, you get them out of there within 6 hours, but they're in Black neighborhoods. We have seen Black politicians like Brandon Johnson in Chicago, like Brandon Scott down here in Baltimore, the potato-headed mayor up in Newark, New Jersey. We've seen them give away Black infrastructure with no problem to non-citizens, sold Black people out for 30 pieces of silver from George Soros. So Black people see through it now. They're tired of it, and they want their communities back.
Yeah,
Listen,
absolutely. I want to shout out our
whole. Go ahead. Oh, on the whole, most of the country, a majority of the country supports just deporting illegals across the board. So that's still a majority, not 50%, some 60+% of Americans support that. So these polls or these news media, they're showing these, these fake tears and all of this. This is not representative. It's not an accurate portrayal. Sure, there are some people who disagree and who don't want it no matter what. Like some of the people on, what's that show called? The Supposed View. But nevertheless, they're still not even giving a representation of the accurate portrayal of what people really believe. It's usually one-sided is what they're showing.
Yeah, I got to shout out our super chatters here. We got some super chats coming in. Want to get you guys in on this. And what do you all think? Are you happy with the mass deportations, or do you want President Trump to slow down? All right, let's see what we have here. We have, let's see here. All right, we have, I thought I had a super chat there.
It is Tijuana Border Jumper.
Okay, yep. Oh, well, Kung Fu DJ with the $5 super chat says they worried about the children. Now, what about the 300,000 that are missing? Right.
Exactly.
Right. And I saw a headline that said they had found some of that 300,000, some of those 300,000 children. Tijuana Border Jumper with the $5 super chat says here but late. Yep. Thank you. Thank you.
Tijuana.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we saw, I think it was you, Soldiers of Finance, that mentioned about this Colombia issue. And so this was another headline that went viral. Colombia announced that they were not going to accept planes filled with deportees, as the Trump administration had moved very quickly when it came into office to start arresting and deporting people who were criminal illegals. So, of course, that included Colombia deportees. But the president of Colombia stated, while President Trump was actually on the golf course, that he wasn't going to accept these deportees. So Trump took a break in his golf game and issued this statement. He says, I was just informed that 2 repatriation flights from the United States with large number of illegal criminals were not allowed to land in Colombia. This is reported according to the Associated Press. This order was given by Colombia's socialist president, Gustavo Petro, who is already very unpopular amongst his people. Petro's denial of these flights has jeopardized the national security and public safety of the United States. So I have directed my administration to immediately take the following urgent and decisive retaliatory measures. Talked about 25% tariffs on all goods coming into the U.S. In the 1 week, the 25% tariffs would be raised to 50%. Also, he said something about a travel ban and immediate visa revocations. So, of course, this Colombia, they changed their tune. Before I get you all in on this, I want you to see this clip of them talking about this. This is clip 2.
Well, number one, the reason Donald Trump had to resort to these tariffs and sanctions and punishments today is because the president of Colombia refused to accept a flight of migrants. He said he wouldn't take them. Donald Trump said, we're going to enter the F around and find out portion of this conversation. And he hit him with sanctions and tariffs. And now tonight, the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, says Congress is going to back him up on that. He's putting Colombia, he's putting the rest of this hemisphere on notice that you are not dealing with the same president that you were. You're dealing with someone who is taking illegal immigration seriously. Now, Within an hour of making that threat, the president of Colombia said, whoa, 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 I'll send my own plane to pick these people up. So obviously he got their attention. I don't think there's actually going to be any tariff war between the United States and Colombia, because as long as they come get their people, I doubt Donald Trump's going to end up tariffing them, and they won't tariff us. And they'll have learned a valuable lesson that Donald Trump is taking immigration, illegal immigration, seriously. This is real leadership, but it sends a message to everybody else in the hemisphere. Do not test us. This is not Biden and Harris. This is Trump and Vance. We mean business. And, it happened under Barack Obama, actually. He deported millions upon millions of people, and I don't have any recollection of the U.S. economy collapsing. And no Republican, and I don't think most Americans are taking seriously the argument that the U.S. economy is underpinned by violent, criminal, illegal immigrants. I mean, if our entire economy is underpinned by people who are rapists and murderers and commit other violent acts, then we got a whole other set of issues going on in the economy that we ought to talk about today. I mean, people just aren't buying that argument. So the populations that they are starting with are violent, criminal, illegal aliens. Then they also have 1.5 million people who have existing, fully adjudicated orders. And beyond that, I would just point out that if you came to this country illegally, you're already a criminal, illegal immigrant. You've already broken our laws, even if you haven't been arrested yet or charged with it. If you're here illegally, if you broke our laws, then you're going to be targeted. Now, maybe you're not going to be a top priority today because there's other more dangerous people here, but we cannot send a message.
Wow. So what do you guys think on that, Shelly E?
Look, so illegal immigration costs the U.S. $150+ billion a year. Okay. Again, I have zero sympathy. This is focused on illegals. We can get the illegals out, the hardened criminals. I do get why these leftists, again, these fake compassionate people, but the same people in America, they can overlook them. We have people in America who have many needs, and granted, some of their needs can be ameliorated as well on their own. But I am making zero apologies for taking care of Americans first. Get the illegals out. We have plenty of crime on our own without illegals. Let's get them out.
Agreed. Yeah. But KJ, this is about power. This really has, for the Democrats, has nothing to do with compassion for anyone, right, especially an illegal immigrant. This is everything to do about power. When they lost in November to MAGA and Team Trump, it sent a shockwave through their party. And they're floundering, trying to figure out who they are and what they stand for. One thing that they all think they can do is rally the American public on these heartbreaking, scenarios of people being deported. The truth of the matter is, you have Hispanic people cheering the getting rid of these criminals from their neighborhoods. This is about Democrats losing power. And if you're looking for somebody crying harder than Selena Gomez, you don't need to go any further than Capitol Hill. Them Democrats are up there crying. Trump should pass out some pacifiers and make them all take a nap, because they are acting a fool up there on the loss of their power base.
Yeah. Soldiers of finance. What did you think of that exchange?
Well, I thought it was great. You're seeing the remnants of the once, powerful Democrat Party. It's just the remnant of that group at this point. And look, parenthetically, look at CNN. All right, they're so stupid that they haven't given Scott Jennings his own show. He can rescue the whole damn network. They still have him as a commentator. Okay, but this is the liberal mindset. They keep doubling down on failed policies. Now, Trump, if you examine that statement and the way Petro backed off, there was something Trump said in there that I think a lot of people may have gone by. And it was, you're already unpopular with your people. We used to have a teacher who would say, Mr. Nash, he would say, when kids got stupid, you want some words? That meant he would make you write on the board like 1,000 times. Okay. Trump basically said to Petro, you want some democracy? And some door kicking democracy. That's what that statement was. I think Petro interpreted it accurately. So much so, he decided he'd send his presidential plane up here to get his criminal SAs and deleters okay, from America. So this is policy that doesn't take 3 weeks at the State Department. Okay? This is policy by, hey, MFA, what did you say? Hold this golf club for a minute, boop, 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 and situation taken care of.
Handled. Absolutely. Situation handled.
Tariffs work. I guess tariffs do work.
Listen, I mean, this is a thing of an alpha man handling some alpha business. Here's the thing. These are your people. They're not Americans. They're here illegally. We're doing you a favor flying you back to Colombia. We could just drop you off from Mexico and let you work it out, right? So the Colombian president said, you're being disrespectful to my people. You know, you're treating them like criminals. They are criminals.
Right.
They are absolutely criminals. And if you think you can do better, go ahead and send your presidential plane to come pick them all up. We can cram them all in there. And listen, heads exploded around the DMV when he started talking about these Colombian visas would no longer be good, right? He was shutting down the embassy. He would bring the full force of his office to bear. And oh, by the way, that means cutting you off financially. No more Uncle Sam money. Right.
Yeah, we have some super chatters here. I want to get these super chatters in. Dallas Delight with the $5 super chat says, what do you all think of Selena Gomez crying on Instagram over illegal criminals but not missing children? Another liberal loony after the Butch Bishop. Yeah. Oh yeah. She's unhinged. She's unhinged.
She's crazy.
CJ, Trump put Colombia president in check. He did. He certainly did. I mean, this is a new day. And as Trump said, it's the golden age. But some people don't think this way. Some people feel like what Trump is doing is racist. That takes us to The View. Take a look here. This is clip 8.
You know, I to answer your question, which is this the immigration fix that this country wanted? I think absolutely there are certain people that wanted to see this kind of pain and destruction for a certain group or type of immigrant. Because if you look at the numbers, yes, the number of immigrants that come from Mexico or of Mexican born are the largest. But the next largest are Asians. 28% of them come. I don't think they walk across the southern border. I think they come by plane. The next largest are Europeans. I don't think they walk either. I'm just saying immigrants, right?
Oh, not undocumented, though.
A lot of them are undocumented, actually.
But that's not the stat for being
but a lot
of
them
come by plane and then overstay their visas.
They overstay their visas. They overstay their visas, so they're undocumented. The Europeans that come here that overstay their visas are undocumented, but they don't come across the southern border. So I think there's a very clear message as to what this president wants the look of a criminal migrant to look like, what an undocumented migrant. And I think that's racist. Let me also say that, in my view, he has circumvented established law by weaponizing the U.S. military.
Can you explain what you mean by that?
Generally, before being deported, you have an asylum case pending in front of a court, and you must appear in front of that judge. Right now, there are 3 million asylum cases and 900 judges. That is why the bipartisan bill that was going to be passed addressed that particular issue. Instead of dealing with it legally in that way, and I'm not saying he's doing it illegally, what he did was declared a national emergency that qualifies as a foreign invasion. And on the U.S.-Mexico border, not any other border. And that cleared the way for the Department of Defense to deploy the military at a 60% increase. I just think that our military members, many of them did not join the military to do that job. And let me say just finally that they are also racially profiling in doing this.
Oh, my Lord! Oh, sorry. I couldn't believe this woman. She is just sickening.
Look,
So,
and she's
what did you
stupid.
think of that? Oh, go ahead.
And she's stupid.
Yeah.
Weaponizing the U.S. military. Lady, the U.S. military is a weapon. Okay?
Exactly. That's the whole point of being in the military, right? Yeah.
Number two, listen, where we capture people who have been here illegally, and right now stage one is, the violent criminal aspect of that. There are plenty of Asians that have walked across that border. Chinese
We saw one.
Okay,
Homan was picking up a guy was from Thailand.
That's been profiled. So here's what I think. You want to see weaponization? Sonny, I think you should shut the hell up because A, you're stupid, and B, your husband is in some deep legal stuff right about now. So, which could turn into a whole nother thing. So, lady, go concentrate on your home. And I think it's racist. You thought the last snowstorm was racist because it didn't have black flakes in it. Okay. You think everything is racist. This is not news, lady. She's insufferable.
Yeah. Shelly, what are your thoughts on that exchange?
Look, I don't know how she wove into this, the racism part. It was all over the place. Again, I repeat, to me now, Sonny is a former federal fuck up. That's what I called her last week. And that's what I'm going to call her from time to time. That's number 2. But the oath of office for the military, for, bureaucrats, government, whatever. I solemnly swear to defend the U.S. Constitution against enemies, foreign and domestic. That is the number 1 job of the United States military and for those who take the office. So again, this former federal fuck up should know this. You would think they teach that in Law 101. And when you're in law school. So how she missed that, again, she wants to weave in this racism angle, and it doesn't even make sense. Illegals are here illegally. Like, I don't know who said it, but the fact that you come here illegally makes you a crime. These are the same people who continually release prisoners, Americans no less. They want them all over the country. They want to supply them with every service from A to B at our expense, even our lives and livelihood. They don't give a damn. You know why? Because the federal fuck ups like Sunny Hostin and her husband live in protected, bordered, if you will, bordered houses, fenced all in, and the rest of the people cannot get there. I'm sick of them. They are so disingenuous. They can't even just be consistent on their own side.
Yeah,
and if it was President Shelley E. and Defense Secretary, Soldiers of Finance, we wouldn't even be landing the plane. C-130 static line drops all over Central and South America.
Dropping from the sky.
Before I get you in, Nicole, we have here Born with a Purpose with the 250 super chat says, y'all need a syndicated show to battle the view.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, Kung Fu CJ says, as a vet, I took an oath, and it says foreign and domestic with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Kung Fu CJ. Nicole, what did you think of that exchange?
It was typical Sunny. It was her typical lazy ass rhetoric. She did no research. She's just spewing junk. It's not like Donald Trump asked brown people to come here. Brown people been jumping that border for as long as there's been a border, right? The problem that we're having with them is the criminality. If they're raping, they're pillaging. And it doesn't matter to me if your skin is yellow, polka dot striped, glitter colored, brown. It makes no difference. But if you're raping a child, American or foreign born, you should be penalized. And if you're not an American, we're shipping you back. If you're going to be lawless in your own nation. We've got enough trouble here that we need to sort ourselves. We don't need to import it. We really don't. And the truth of the matter is, if Sunny was being honest, she would have looked at the numbers with Joe Biden sprinkling people all over this country. We got sprinkles here in Maryland, too. We've got Ukrainians and Chechens and Haitians. We got all kind of people in the cracks and crevices of these small towns. What's going to happen to these people? What's going to happen to these people when they're too scared to send their kids to school, when they're too scared to go to work because they're going to be, quote unquote, deported? My best advice to you, self-deport. Self-deport. Avoid the 10-year penalty. Pack your stuff and go back home and try it again.
Yeah, it's really troubling. And we're going to talk about the politics of Democrats later in the show. But it's really troubling when you hear people like Sonny Hostin and many of these Democrats who sit and advocate for criminality. And then they play on this race card when they say it. So they advocate for black and brown criminals, but not black and brown victims. They say nothing about what's going on in inner cities like here in Baltimore City, like Chicago, like all of these victims that are, victims of gang violence and unaliving and all this types of stuff. They say nothing. But when it comes to, they make up stuff about criminality. This is what they do. It's sickening. Yep. I mean, Sonny Hostin, she reminds me of a hound. Instead of a bloodhound, she's a race hound. Mm-hmm. Anything she can sniff, she looking for some way to tie it to racism, and it's not even there.
She's a typical border.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. The southern border and the southern entries of port of entries are the busiest ones in the country. This is why we're focusing there.
Of course we're focusing it. Here's the thing.
She mentioned the Asians, they don't walk over water. Right. No, they don't have to. China can send the balloons and the drones. Hell, they come when they want. So what are we supposed to do? Just keep letting them do that? No. And you know why they don't advocate for the victims? Because they know that their policies cause the victims and contribute to the victimology and the victimization. That's why. So in order to do that, if they advocate for the victims, they're going to have to go back and say, oh, well, what policy, maybe contribute to this? And it's going to be theirs. It's called man in the mirror syndrome, which they don't have.
Listen, they're willing to sacrifice American lives to hang on to power. That's what this all boils down to. I mean, it's somebody who I've done my fair share politically, good and otherwise, right? However, I would never, ever risk an American child, never an American woman, never an American man for the sake of power. Power can be won so very easily by talking to people, right? Mm-hmm. Asking you what your goals are for your community and figuring out a way we can meet those goals. That's the way you're supposed to do it. But you know what happens? People say, you know what? We'll import all of these other people. And they'll be so grateful because we're going to give them housing and hospitals and money every single month and food every single month. Something we won't even give the veterans who fought, died, in some cases bled for us, right? It doesn't make any sense to the naked eye. But when you think about it from a political standpoint, they're importing their next group of voters.
Oh, yeah.
This is their holding on to power. This is what this is.
It's criminal. It's criminal. I want to acknowledge our super chatters. Thank you all so much. We have Rico, right, with the $10 super chat. Says, hello, KJ, Tink Tink, Soldiers of Finance, and Puddin'. Puddin', you look lovely tonight, and the new mic sounds great. I wonder when ICE gonna grade those hotels housing illegals, right? Puddin', great advice for the illegals. Thank you, Rico.
Thank you, Rico.
Thank you, Rico. Thank you, Rico.
Thank you, Rico.
All right. Brandy Lynn with the $5 super chat says, I just love the hell out of y'all. Always speaking King so much truth. We needed to stand together. Yes.
Amen.
Thank you, Brandy. Absolutely, Brandy. Thank you. At last, Satisfied Patriot with the $10 super chat says Melania Trump is suing Sonny Hostin for $100 million. It will set a new precedent for shows like The Spew. She will win it. I hope that's true. I really do. I really do.
I mean, you saw her change her language a little bit when she was talking about Trump. Yeah, she backed up real fast. She was like, I'm not saying he's doing anything illegal. Yeah, because Trump is not playing with these so-called commentators. Right. He's coming for their necks. And people say, it's a frivolous case. It's not. It's telling them that you've crossed the line. You've absolutely crossed the line.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Folks, we thank you guys so much. We got so much more to talk about tonight. I want you guys to know that we have additional shows here under Metro Conservative Media. We have the All-American Talk Show. They will be live tomorrow night on their YouTube channel, the All-American Talk Show. I have Christian Conservative, so certainly check out my show on Thursday night. And we have Just the Guys. Just the Guys is live on Saturdays. This Soldiers of Finance is on Just the Guys as well. And here's a little teaser clip so you guys can get an understanding of what they're all about. Take a look. This is
Just the Guys podcast.
When Trump got elected, it's just like Dad came home. He came to claim his throne, but fatherless adults are feeling what it feels like to have a dad, and they don't like it.
Yeah. And the other thing is you're seeing that the left is going crazy because once again, he is proving that if you do want to get things done in government, you can.
I'm the Negro Whisperer. What I do is that I expose the hypocrisy of this foundational Black American movement. Imagine being told you are not oppressed. Imagine being told that there is no white boogeyman. Imagine being told, hey, man, even if you believe in this stuff, you have developing nation states in Africa. So when you tell the blacks, hey, man, you can leave this white man, right? That's what they believe. You could leave this white man. You could leave this racism, white supremacy. They get mad at you because it goes against their doctrine.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's just a little teaser of Just the Guys podcast. Folks, you got to go check them out right here on YouTube. They are live on Saturdays. It's Just the Guys podcast right here on YouTube. As I mentioned, we have the All-American Talk Show. They'll be live tomorrow right here on YouTube. And I also have my additional channel, Christian Conservative with KJ and CJ. So certainly check us out, you guys. We're all conservative, just different types of content, and you're going to love it all. All right, we have another super chatter here. Tijuana Border Jumper with the $5 super chat says, can you give the times, please? The shows are streaming, please. And what time zone? Thanks. Oh, thank you, Tijuana Border Jumper. Yes, absolutely. So the All-American Talk Show streams live tomorrow at 6:30. Okay, so that's on Tuesdays at 6:30. Then Christian Conservative with KJ and CJ streams live at 9 p.m. on Thursdays and Sundays. That's 9 p.m. on Thursdays and Sundays, Christian Conservative with KJ and CJ. And then the Just the Guys, which we just showed, they're on Saturdays. Soldiers of Finance. What time do you guys go on Saturdays?
6:30.
6:30, all Eastern.
Right.
Eastern.
All Eastern, right.
Yep, Eastern time zones, all Eastern. Folks, check it out, and we will share in the chat the links to each channel so you guys can go and sub. And that way, if you subscribe and you hit the notification bell, you'll be alerted when each channel goes live. Okay? So we still got more for you tonight, though, on Poppin' Politics. So I got to get into DEI. So the left is going wild over DEI and the things that Trump has assigned for executive orders. He has gotten rid of all DEI in the federal government, federal contracting, federal government, and I think it's going to itch into universities and education too. So particularly since he started this, it's kind of been like a snowball effect on private industry now. So a lot of private companies are getting rid of their DEI. One of them is Costco. Another is Target. This is a Target person. This person has a retailer. She's Tabitha Brown. She's an actress. And she is speaking out about those calling for a boycott of Target after the retailer announced it will be scaling back its DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion program. So again, this actress, she's a social media phenomenon. She has a partnership with the Minneapolis-based retailer since 2022. So a lot of her products are sold in Target, and she's Black. Take a look here. This is clip 5.
I am in business in multiple ways with Target, with Walmart, and Amazon, right? I sell Donna's Recipe, my hair care products, right, are on Amazon. They're also in Target. And of course, I have a huge partnership with Target. I sell my seasonings at Walmart. I do business all over, just like many other people. And what I can tell you is, if we all decide to boycott and be like, no, we're not spending no money at these organizations. Listen, I get it. And if that's how you feel, honey, I 1000% get it. But so many of us will be affected, and our sales will drop. Our business will be hurt. And if any of you know business, it doesn't just happen overnight where you can just go take all your stuff and pull it off the shelves. There's a process. And then you got to, like, where you going to put it? You got to have a place to store it. That's money, right? You got to have another place to sell it, which is almost impossible sometimes. And even if you sell online, it's a process when it comes to business. And everyone does not have the funds or the means or the availability, the space to house their own products, right? But the thing that concerns me the most, and I want you to hear me and hear me well, if we all decide to stop supporting said businesses and say, you know, I can't buy nothing from there, even the businesses who were affected by the DEI ban, right? What that does is you take all our sales and they dwindle down. And then those companies get to say, oh, your products are not performing. And they can remove them from the shelves and then put their preferred businesses on the shelves. And then what happens to all the businesses who've worked so hard to get where they are? Then what happens, right? Now, I know that something that could solve it is ownership of these big corporations, right? It's a long way to go there.
I know that. All right. So I want to start with you, Shelley. What do you think of her? She's saying that, you know, you got people like Al Sharpton and many of these leftist people, Democrats, are calling for boycotting these companies that are getting rid of their DEI. And she is a retailer at Target. She's selling her wares. And she's saying, you know, I'm Black and I'm with Target. Don't, you know, stop shopping my products. What are your thoughts?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. I mean, I just don't. First of all, I never really cared for Tabitha Brown. When she first came on the scene, she just, I don't know. I have this phony meter and it's been going off lately, and maybe it's an overdrive. I don't know. But anyway, that's one thing. Number two, you're a business person. Sell your wares wherever they're going to be sold. I don't care if it's Target or not, but consumers can boycott. Last year or the year before, when conservatives wanted to boycott, and they did, boycotted Budweiser and Target, you know, people said, you know, we shouldn't do that either. Well, which is it? Consumers can boycott whatever they want when they want. You have a product, that's your responsibility to put it where it can sell and to have the right, whatever, mechanism in place that you can make a profit. I don't care, Tabitha, whether or not you're brown, you look like whomever. I don't care. I truly do not care.
Yeah. Yeah. What are your thoughts on this, Nicole, as a brown woman?
First of all, let me tell you, if you listen to what she said, she is explaining why her merit-based business is more important than this DEI bullshit. She explained it perfectly to people who speak third grade English. Yeah. You know, I worked real hard for my products, and, you know, I don't have anywhere else to sell it or anywhere to store it. And it's a lot of work. Business is tough. Business is a hard thing. And, you know, if you make them pick a preferred person over top of the person who's working so hard, what's the point of being in business? Exactly. I can tell you, I was one of those people who had a thing with Target. My thing with Target was a little bit different. I went there a couple of days before Memorial Day. We were going away for a friends group get together thing. And I wanted to buy a new swimsuit. I walk in and they had moved all of the LGBT stuff up to the front. So I'm looking around and I find this bathing suit. I'm like, oh, this is cute, but it had a little pocket in the front. And I said, where a place to put your cell phone, because it's not clicking for me. So my daughter's looking at me like 10, 9, like she's counting it down for it to hit. And I said, oh my God, is this for a dick? Oh, so I'm having the whole meltdown, not because of the swimsuit. It was still cute, but because women spend billions with the B dollars in Target, and they moved our shit way to the back by the men's socks. So I go up to the counter and I'm like, what the hell? I spent all this money. How dare you move my stuff to the back? So the woman's like, well, you're a transphobe and this kind of phobe. I said, no. I'm a racist, a bigot, and all kind of foolishness. But I spend money in here and I want my stuff up front. I don't want my stuff in the back by men's socks. Men spend $3.75 annually at Target. Women are your backbone. You don't put this creep stuff in front of my stuff. You're going to have one of those sections, move it to the back where it belongs. So, of course, got a little heated. So I was asked to leave very politely. And, my friend the sheriff came, but that part we're not going to talk about. So anyway, I get put out. I get banned from the Target. I go out to my car. I put on a baseball hat. I come back into the Target. I pick up all of the little Tucket swimsuits and I hide them all over the store. There was some in toys. There was some in frozen foods. Yeah, I was that girl at Target. So this little thing she's talking about where she don't know where she's going to put her seasonings, girl, hush. Let me tell you, put your seasonings in your garage. You got enough money to rent a warehouse. You can hire some people to make sure that those deliveries get sent. Stop crying about the advantage that we had over top of a regular advantage. How much more advantage do we need? We cannot continue to act like babies. Right. We cannot. Grow up.
Right.
Grow up.
Soldiers of finance. Can you break it down to us, the economics behind this?
Well, there were only two successful, there are three, but one was way back in the 1700s. Only two successful corporate or municipal boycotts in the history of this nation in the modern era. The Montgomery bus boycott, which is very local, orchestrated, and the civil rights workers orchestrated. And then here lately, the Budweiser boycott. It's destroyed their brand placement. Okay. Those are the only two. Okay. And you know why boycotts don't tend to work? And if you look at the Budweiser boycott, it didn't hurt the parent company. It hurt that brand. The parent company has multiple brands. They don't work because, Walmart, they ended their DEI program. First of all, Walmart is damn near an $800 billion market cap corporation. They got locations in South Africa, Australia, India, Chile. And the Chileans, they don't want to hear about no whining ass Black Americans. Okay. So they don't care. All right. And to be honest with you, neither do most Black people. Remember the Florida boycott? Remember that?
That was a weekend. That was a weekend.
It's garbage. So this whole stunt that Al Sharpton pulled at Costco, listen, Costco doesn't need Al Sharpton. Whether they run DEI or they don't, they got a $5 rotisserie chicken. Okay. I mean, hey, you that's a license to print money. Okay.
It's good. It's good.
They got the chickens all the way at the back of the store. Now,
you got to walk all the way through. Yeah.
Genius. Okay. So this is look, America, the world is sick and tired of whining ass Black people.
Exactly.
Okay? It's just, it's done. It's over. We live in the most prosperous country the world has ever seen. Okay. And you got folk from all over the world by hook or crook trying to get in here because there's opportunity here. But what do a lot of us do, especially the Black baby boomers?
Yeah.
At some point, they were made to drink out of a Black-only water fountain, or someone called them nigger, and they have lived with the trauma of it ever since.
Yes. And they share it with their families. Yes.
Get over it at this point. You've had a Black president. Okay, enough is enough, and these boycotts won't amount to a damn hill of beans.
You know, boycotting is like the 1960s version of civil disobedience. It's hard to boycott a place that sells food. Like you were saying, rotisserie chicken is delicious. I think as an American, everybody can agree that rotisserie chicken is delicious. People go to Walmart for a variety of reasons. People shop at Target for a variety of reasons. You know, even when I was quote unquote banned, I still shopped online because Target has the towels I like, right? I was angry, but not angry enough to change my shopping patterns because I'm an American and I like stuff, right?
Exactly.
So you can't tell an American who's worked hard for her money, who likes a particular thing that you have. Me and Target kind of fell out, but we back on good terms now. Do you know what I mean? It's something to be said for people who say, I don't like what you did in this moment, but I'm going to continue to support the people that you support. We're going to, fall out for a second and we're going to get right back. What Tabitha was trying to say in her video is, let's not throw out the baby and the bathwater. Let's be smarter than 1960s civil disobedience. But here you have Revenal and 100 senior citizens walking through Costco. And you know what? I bet you dollars to donuts, somebody in there bought a rotisserie chicken.
But you're right.
From
a business perspective, sorry, go ahead.
I want to talk about DEI. So, this is what it's all over. This is what it's all about. The left is really upset that President Trump is getting rid of DEI. But polling data has indicated that Americans support a colorblind society over race-conscious society by large margins. So where is the disconnect? Why are people still trying to advocate for DEI when isn't that the antithesis of a colorblind society?
Because these are the remnants, like Tyrone said. These people, these baby boomers, are still living in the civil rights. They got to find something to march about. They want something to boycott, and they don't work. I was going to say, Nicole, to your point, from a business perspective, I can understand Tabitha or any business saying, let's be smart about this economically. But she's only doing that. She's only talking really to Black people. Let's be smart and about my Black products. So
exactly.
She's advocating this soft version, if you will, of this DEI affirmative action. If your products are good products and people want them, leave them at Target or put them anywhere else, and they will sell. That's all I'm saying. I don't care just because they're Black or whatever. I mean, I'm sick of that too. I mean, do Black people? What happened to the dignity that was supposed to have come from the civil rights era? Where's that dignity? Because even before the civil rights era, when Black people were doing Reconstruction and after slavery, they had lots of dignity. They didn't want to be known as beggars and borrowers. They wanted skills and they wanted to be seen as equally competent. And they were, and they can be. What happened to that sense?
That sense is in Reverend Al's bank account. See, grift is the victimhood, because when people feel oppressed and you can get the rest of the community to rally behind that quote unquote oppression, you can say, now we got to strike a blow. Everybody give me $100 and we're going to get on a bus and march on Washington and all this kind of foolishness. And people listen, in the 60s, because that was newfangled. But at this point, how many times have we marched? How many Black fists have been raised in the air? How many boycotts, letter writing campaigns? Listen, we have to grow up. DEI was a double dip on racism across the board, not only for Black people, but for gay people, transgenders, and all the rest of that lot. The problem is they want more preference than everybody else. They want to be a carve out, a special group. Nobody's more special than anybody else. And if we can't agree in 2024 that the melanin that's in our skin or the mental confusion and illness that's in their head doesn't make us any more different than the people who are pink, who are yellow, then we have a fundamental problem.
Exactly.
We have a fundamental problem.
A big disservice is being done to anyone who, especially younger people, who buy into this stuff, because you're going to waste your entire life under the mistaken belief that someone's supposed to give you something. Okay. Someone's supposed to grant you something because something that may have happened to one of your ancestors who you don't even know. You don't even know your damn lineage. Okay. Hell, your great 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 grandfather may have owned slaves because there were black slave owners. Okay. So you've got people wasting their entire lives on this garbage, and you can be special if you go out there and distinguish yourself in your field of endeavor. You will be sought after if you decide, I'm going to provide the market with an extreme amount of value. People will flock to you in whatever it is, whatever field you're providing that value in. We own businesses, and I'm going to tell you right now, I don't give a damn what color you are, who you're sleeping with, what your gender is. You can be a Martian that just landed here in a spaceship. And guess what? If you need a financial service, in fact, I'm going to try to convince you that you do need a financial service. Now that you're here on Earth is a risky place. You need to
for sure.
Is this spaceship insured? Let's talk, okay? And there's no discrimination in that whatsoever. If people on this black business tip are crazy, I want to sell something to all 8 billion of the people on this planet if I possibly can.
Absolutely. This is what Michael Jordan said. Republicans buy sneakers too, right?
Right, exactly. But it all started under 2 presidents. Barack Obama, he issued an executive order 135583, which pretty much laid the groundwork for many national diversity initiatives. And then Biden, he put out 2 executive orders that pretty much enhanced these DEI principles. And so once these things really got into the underbelly of federal government, they saw dollar signs. So many of these DEI projects, initiatives come with big money for these consultants, for the classes, for all of these trainings among government, among private. It has become a $7.5 billion business, and it was on its way to being upwards of 15 billion with a B dollars. So that's what it's all about. They're trying to grift.
Follow them. And we were talking about this last week when President Trump signed those executive orders to, close down, shut down the DEI programs across the federal government. I mean, black people that I know, I'm sure there are some white people and maybe other ethnicities, but many of the black people that I know, they are in a tizzy. I mean, because their DEI, whatever program and is going to be shut down. It's so much so that I know people have told me that they're trying to find ways around it, some kind of way, shape, or form. This is what people are largely, they only living to be given something or to think they deserve it. And it's other people's money. That's it. And not only that, we're talking about baby boomers. Let's not forget that the baby boomers were some of the most educated, upwardly mobile people in American society to this day. They have, the wealth that they have attained, the education, the status, the position, they have done it. And yet they are still living with this psychological fear. I call it the self-induced fear that the white boogeyman is still out to get them.
It's a trauma bond. It's a trauma bond. It's a part of who they are. Yeah.
Right. And they've not only were the most successful generation, but they left the next generation in a worse situation, in a worse predicament. The generation before them left them off well, but the baby boomers did not leave the next generation in a good way.
So no, they sucked all the air out of the room and then told us to figure it out, right? But here's what happened. We did figure it out. I can think back. I grew up in a Jewish neighborhood. So I went to a high school with a bunch of different people, but predominantly Jewish people. We never thought of each other, or black, white, as they're indifferent. We thought of people as, this person's really smart in math. This is someone who writes for the newspaper. I did television production. I did the news. Then there were people who played football. You were kind of classified based on what you did, not on the way that you looked or the color of your skin. Because we didn't have that trauma bond that the baby boomers had. No one ever told us that we couldn't drink out of a water fountain. My generation refused to drink out of a water fountain.
You drink out of hoses.
Thank you. Out in the backyard because we done lost the key to the house and was afraid to say something, right? So it was a whole situation with us. We grew up different. And I think as adults now in this space, we're saying our way is better than the old way. And it is. It absolutely is. There are still protections with the EEOC for if you feel like you've been discriminated against, race, creed, color, religion, sexuality, gender, all of that. Those protections are intact. What has been taken away is your extra. Right. Your extra is gone. And just like a baby who's gotten their candy taken away, this is what we're seeing.
I gotta get these super chats in here. We got several super chats here, guys. Thank you so much. We certainly appreciate you. Kung Fu CJ says these people know nothing about economics. Right, exactly.
Agreed.
All right. We also have Tina with the $5 super chat says, please share to support Cousin T's businesses. It's a Black-owned business who lost out on DEI benefits because he's a Trump supporter. Oh, wow.
Are you talking about Terrence?
Terrence Jaggs, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Comedian.
Yeah, I know him. Okay, yep, we certainly will. Definitely. Rico says, damn, couldn't set it off then. All right, Nicole.
Such a mess. He is such a mess.
All right. And I do want to move on. I just want to say, I know we don't have this schedule, but news broke, I believe today, that President Trump signed another executive order removing transgenders from the military. So he'll direct the Department of Defense to update its guidance on trans identifying medical standards for military service, rescinding the Biden administration's guidance. His order is scheduled to be today. He'll order rescind Biden's executive order and then stop trans. There's no more medical assistance for trans surgeries, and they can't be openly trans. If what I'm looking here, it says during the Biden administration, the Department of Defense allowed gender insanity to pervade our military organizations, family, and culture. This is from the White House. He says this included not only permitting the military to increase the number of individuals not physically or mentally prepared to serve, but also ordering the Department of Defense to pay for service members' transition surgery. So that's going to stop.
Thank God.
Yeah, he's on the move. He's on the move. So want to move to a local story here in Maryland, but you folk guys, we have been reporting a lot on local issues right here in Maryland. Pay attention. Pay attention, because this is going to be spread out across the country if we do not continue to sound the alarm. So the legislative Black Caucus of Maryland has unveiled their 2025 priorities, and it's a whole mess. Take a look at this clip. This is clip 6.
We should note, again, you and I have said this in the air many times, there is no evidence that Joe Biden was, involved in any wrongdoing.
Of course, want to note that there is no evidence that Joe Biden or Hunter Biden has done anything wrong.
I just want to reiterate.
And let's be clear for the viewers.
There is no evidence Biden did anything wrong.
Governor, you got a second?
Literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I don't believe it.
This is why independent media is so important. Thanks to people like you, patriots who love America and stand for truth, we're making a difference. Together, we've turned them off, called them out for their lies and propaganda, and held them accountable for their disdain for God-fearing, freedom-loving Americans like us. But we can't stop here. It's time to take action with our dollars. Let's make 2025 the year we double down on our commitment to values-driven choices. Vote with your dollars. Support Made in America. Back companies that honor our families, faith, and country. We found an exciting way to make this switch, and we want you to join us. Check out www.popandswitch.com and click Yes, I Want to Make the Switch. It's that easy. It's time to walk away from corporations like BlackRock and Vanguard that undermine our principles. Let's invest in America. Let's support businesses that share our love for this country. You don't have to take on everything at once, but you can start here. Join us in making this one small yet powerful step. Visit www.popandswitch.com. Click the link and schedule a call with our team to learn how you can make the switch. Together, we can create real.
Members of the Legislative Black Caucus characterized their agenda as robust, meaningful, impactful, and progressive. Public safety, reparations, affordable medicine, education, and housing. Some of the agenda priorities rolled out Thursday by the Legislative Black Caucus. Members boldly took aim at the governor's budget regarding state money for community schools. They vow to unfreeze funding.
Community schools is more than lip service. Community schools actually provide wraparound services to our schools across the state that have the highest concentration of poverty.
The caucus is reintroducing bills to change juvenile justice laws. The YES Act would end the practice of automatically charging youth as adults.
Some of the more violent offenses will be left out. I think we can use this as a building block. I deeply believe that we need to end the practice of auto charging.
The Second Look Act allows petitioning the court to reduce the sentence of someone jailed as a teen who has spent 20 years in the system. They want guilt by association murder charges repealed. There will be a package of expungement bills, including allowing someone who violated probation to be allowed a clean slate.
This package of bills is imperative. We must find a way to make sure that everyone has a fair chance.
The caucus wants to create a reparations commission to come up with recommendations for financial compensation.
Reparations committee in a time where we have a deficit. So
Listen,
I want to start with you on this, Nicole. I mean, I particularly want to hone in on the part of their plan, which is called YES. They're calling it YES, Youth Equity and Safety Act. So this is part of their justice reform and sentencing was part of their priority. You guys, this is right on their website, MarylandBlackCaucusFoundation.org. They have it all laid out. This is really scary. And again, we have Democrats advocating for criminality.
Absolutely.
What do you think about this?
Listen, this is probably the third bill in a long series of, kids are just being kids even when they kill. Last year we had the Free to Kill bill, and we saw it in action here in my county, where a young person, and I'm using that term very liberally, a young person rolled up to a Home Depot. The woman was working outside watering the plants and ran her over, then backed up and ran her over again. He was out with an ankle bracelet before her family could recognize the body. This is what we're talking about. When we don't hold people accountable for their actions, you see what we see in Baltimore City. You don't have a 30-year-old sticking a gun in your face demanding the keys to your car. It's a child. It's a kid that are robbing people, at the harbor, grabbing old ladies' handbags and yanking it so hard that they break their shoulders. This has got to stop. This whole thing that our children can't be corrected, our children can't have standards to live up to, is not helping. The new thing one of the sheriffs in I think he's in Harford County is protesting against is that if someone's driving erratically, he can't pull them over anymore, according to these new sets of bills. If your car is making a loud noise, he can't pull you over. If you throw stuff out of the window, he can't pull you over and give you a ticket for it. He has to have, quote unquote, a lawful reason. Now, all of those things are against the law in Maryland, but not enough to pull you over. The truth of the matter is most of the drug bust that we've had here in this state is because someone threw something out of the window, because their car sounded crazy. These are the ways that we're able to make sure that public safety is being upheld. What we're saying with this series of bills, and they're going to continue to push that envelope as long as they hold the supermajority, is that children here in this state are free to kill. They're free to rob. They're free to pillage. And even if they get somewhere and they do something so heinous that we give them more than 20 years, which here in Maryland is only 6, good time, which is not even good, mediocre time, right? They'll do 6 years and they'll get out and have their record expunged like it never, ever happened. I say to them, what about the Black people that they're killing?
Right.
What about the Black people whose communities are being pillaged? They are siding with the criminal over and over again, and they got this right from California. We have become California of the East Coast.
We've
It
been
is
there.
increasingly harder to live here. And we're going to have to pay a premium for it anyway. They're going to raise all of our taxes so that we can all be carjacked and pistol whipped on the street. This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yes, Shelley, I mean, you have here the Maryland Black Caucus, Legislative Caucus, advocating for these things. Why? And where is the disconnect with the public to say, this isn't good? This isn't good for victims. This isn't good for middle class. This isn't good for us.
This is what you get. Number one, progressive policies pulverize the people they purport to protect. That's number one. But this is what you get when you have a blue state. You have the governor, the legislature is fully Democrat. Well, not fully, but majority Democrat. This is
Super
what you
majority.
get when you have a super majority. When you have the majority of Maryland, or at least the larger districts, they pretty much determine the outcomes of our Maryland legislature. This is what you get. Someone put in the comments earlier, we were talking about the baby boomers. They said, yeah, that's true. But now Generation X, we're treating our children, we're babyfying them or babying them too much. You know, we're protecting them too much. This is what you get. This is a culmination of things. And these are the people in Maryland, at least, who are putting these laws in effect, and they will almost not likely be affected by them. On, I think it was the Maryland, what is it called? The MarylandYouthJustice.org. They have the audacity to have a slogan on their page that says "Kids are kids," talking about this Youth Equity and Safety Act. Well, in Maryland, if this act goes into it gets passed, juveniles will basically be able to murder, pillage, for free with virtually no consequences. They want these 14-year-olds to be tried in juvenile court, where we see the ramifications of that right now. They're like revolving doors. They're not being charged. They're coming out to commit more and more crimes. And where are their parents? Where are the parents of these young children? I even see this, what is it called? The squeegee people are coming back out now. They just move them around. This is going to, I don't even, it can get worse. It can get worse. This will get worse. People's lives are going to be in more danger. And we said it earlier. These leftists, they don't give a damn about victims. All they want is to maintain their power. And they want to do that by playing on people's emotions so they continuously get voted in. And the people of Maryland, Baltimore, PG counties, Montgomery County, and all of these high crime, particularly Black population centers that keep putting these people in in legislature, these are the people where you're going to be suffering the most. You're going to be on TV crying that your loved one has been injured or murdered.
Yeah.
Right. And the person who did it's going to walk free.
Right. I want to get you in on this, Soldiers of Finance, because we know we have a recently elected state's attorney in Baltimore City, Ivan Bates. He is against this. Ivan Bates is against it, and many of the prosecutors in Maryland have come out against this justice reform that the Black Caucus is advocating for. So what are your thoughts on this, and how do we get by it?
Well, the Black Caucus is obviously a danger to public safety. They've come up with these ideas, these radical ideas, probably because they got a Raheem or a Darius in their family that's doing a lot of dumb shit. And they notice I didn't say Tyrone. And they graft that off onto, this emotional methodology of dealing with public safety, and it's all wrong. Okay. Now, I try to always think about solutions. The solution here is for people to think seriously about voting with their pocketbook. Okay. Getting up and leaving these blue states, taking their money and their lives where they're treated best. Okay. And hey, look, we got some choices here in this area, Maryland, where if you work here, you could still be relatively close. I used to commute to DC, 50 miles one way each day, for about 6 years. And I didn't mind at all because I didn't want to be in DC. I didn't want to pay, the exorbitant cost of living there.
Very expensive.
I have my peace of mind. When I come home, I want to have my peace of mind. So I would encourage people to start looking at West Virginia. Okay. Places that have a more reasonable government. Sure, every place is going to have its challenges. But when you got a legislature working against you, the tax-paying citizen, and then increasing the taxes, so now you're paying for the privilege of becoming more of a target.
Absolutely.
That doesn't make any sense to me. So over time, you're going to have to take your money elsewhere. And Maryland over time will atrophy, or either just get tired of the Democrat policies and change course.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to acknowledge our super chatters here, folks. Thank you all so much. We certainly appreciate you. Hit those like button, please. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe. Uncle Arthur says this was also hidden under DEI also. Wow. All right. Thank you so much, Uncle Arthur. We have Kung Fu CJ says, I love what you all do. God bless you. God bless you too, Kung Fu.
Yes.
Absolutely. At last, Satisfied Patriot with a $10 super chat says, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, thank you all for keeping it real and bringing truth. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
At last, Satisfied, I should say. Kung Fu CJ says a grandma was killed in Baltimore recently. Wow. I mean, not recently. It's been a couple times. A lot of grandmas have been killed, unfortunately.
We've gotten desensitized to death. I mean, it used to be an occurrence if someone was killed, and people go, "Oh my gosh, I hope they catch him." Nowadays it's like shrug shoulders, prayers for her family. We've got to be better than that. We have got to get better than that.
Yeah, we do, and we got to get better than this ignorant Maryland Black Legislative Caucus. I mean, one of the things they actually have on here is to repeal felony murder.
Yeah.
So, you know what that means? So if you have some type of gang assault and 5 or 6 people, are assaulting someone and that person dies, then if they can't figure out who's caused, they got to figure out who caused the death. And then if they can't, they all going to get lesser charges. They're going to get charges.
Well, first of all, some of them aren't even going to get charged. Let's keep it real.
And these are the same people who run around talking about, their brains are still developing and they don't come into full development until 25, 26. Well, what's interesting is that these are the politicians by and large are the ones claiming this, right? So if these young people are not put in the right place to get the redevelopment or whatever of their brains, these politicians are not going to be the ones to do it. Where are they going to go to get what they actually need? They're going to wipe their hands off, wipe them clean, and put them back out, and so they're going to be left with the same degenerate kind of thinking that's not corrected. But so that when they are 25 or 20, they might be doing something different. They will have zero remorse. They will not recompense their wrongdoings to the people and the victims that they've harmed. I mean, you can't bring back someone's murdered relative. I get it. But they will have zero remorse about it. They will have zero sorrow about it. They will not be rehabilitated in the right way. So by these same politicians that are claiming that they can't be held responsible.
Oh, you know why they say this too, right? They're saying the reason why they want to repeal the felony murder and all of these things is because it's racist.
Of course.
This is what they're saying. They're saying that the outcome of charges under these felony murder charges and things, because Black people commit these crimes generally in large groups, then the outcome has caused them to get more of these types of felony murder charges. So because of that, they're saying this is racist and it needs to be removed. Folks, we're in crazy town.
We cannot have
think about the sheer level of intellectual inability.
Depravity.
When you deal with people who see the world through the lens of ethnicity, they're too stupid to understand that there's only one race among humans. They see the world, the entire world is seen through the lens of ethnicity. And now the problem is compounded because these are policymakers. So they're actually changing the law to see the world strictly through the lens of race. And beyond that, the very people they purport to assist and help are the very people they're hurting. Because if you are soft on juvenile crime and you give these children the impression that they can go out here and do any and everything, and their 18th birthday occurs and they do something, and then now the state capital S is going to deal with them very harshly. All right. And you may not see them on the street as free people again because they never learned the lesson as juveniles.
Right. And then this is a better question. I'd love to ask Adrian Jones this question. For you, when does life actually have value? Because, they're all about murdering, babies in the womb. They're all about abortion,
Right.
But it seems like they don't really value youth either, right? And they certainly don't value the adults that these youths are murdering. So where does life have value? At some point, somebody's got to be more valuable than your next damn election, because that's what this is about.
Right.
Who can out-liberal the next person? This is absolute lunacy. And you know what it's going to take to change them? It's going to take one of their children murdering somebody and the whole state coming for their neck. And then they're going to say, oh, no, we've got these special laws because kids are free to get away with murder. Free to kill bill last year passed straight party line. Party line, that bill passed. And it is obscene to tell our children that adult lives don't matter. You can kill them as much as you want. Children's lives don't matter. You can kill them too. And what you will get is a bracelet on your ankle and somebody to hug you and tell you can be different, but put you right back in that same jacked up home environment that made you the monster that you are.
And it's the white man's fault. It's not your fault. It's the white man.
This is Lord of the Flies 2025 version.
Absolutely.
And then what they do, because also in their curriculum or their priority are the community schools. So what do these community schools do? They promote government assistance, they promote government influence, and they're basically indoctrination centers. That's why they want these community schools. They're Marxist in nature. That's where community schools came from. They came from a Marxist structure. And so they want these community schools to put out principles of centralized institutions to shape their minds, to get them thinking like the rest, like that felony murder it should be removed.
Absolutely.
Stuff like that. This is what they're doing, raising young people to be Marxists.
You have to go to school. You have to go to school to get your 3 meals or more. You have to go to school to get, whatever, your immunizations, your quote unquote education. You get your wraparound services. When the school, the community school, the school is the community now. That's the housing. That's the housing of the community. Then what do you expect? You're right. They are Marxist, communist structures, if you will. And that is what they're doing. Nothing these young people are doing is going to be considered criminal because that's putting labels on them. And these people, these frauds that are really setting them up for big failure.
Absolutely.
Failure.
Yeah. Have you seen some of these teachers these days?
Oh yeah.
This is not what we were dealing with when we were. This is the nose ring, blue hair crowd.
Tattoos all up everywhere.
Yeah, and focused on everything but reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Yep.
They look like waltzing mental nuts.
Yeah.
And they're out here teaching the younger generation.
When we were coming up, I wasn't rich. I wasn't born with a silver spoon, and I went to public schools, K through 12. I went to public schools, state schools in college, right? College and grad school. But when we were coming up K through 12s, our teachers, number one, like I said, you didn't know their personal lives, right?
Right.
You had to read, write, and do arithmetic, basically. That's it. They were dressed appropriately.
Oh, man, yeah.
And when I look back, we would call them homie, right? But they had on shirts, ties, skirts, whatever you want, pants. But there was a level, there was a decorum there. There was a high standard. You didn't have a choice. When you walked your butt in that building, you better be ready for learning that day. That's it.
We had a teacher named Miss Mitchell, and Miss Mitchell was elegant. She was so prim and proper. You would have thought this black woman was straight out of the House of Windsor, okay, sitting over there with Kate and William and them, okay? Elegant, well-spoken, and, that's what we were dealing with then, okay?
Exactly.
And
now they don't even want you calling them miss. Or
right.
Yeah. So, folks, this is what we're bringing to you tonight. And let me tell you something, because I know sometimes we get people who say, oh, that's in Maryland, leftist Maryland, or it's in Baltimore, or, California, or whatever. We don't have to worry about it. Folks, if it continues to spread here, it's going to spread across the country. Now, we have a small reprieve with Trump in office right now. But let me tell you, we've said this before on this channel. Wes Moore is the governor here, and they're grooming him for 2028. They're grooming him right now.
Oh, he's already a shoe-in. He's already a shoe-in.
Right. So, folks, you better stay alert. We're sounding the alarm for you as to what's going on. So when 2028 comes around, you won't be surprised. And I pray you're not fooled to vote for this man.
Right.
All right.
Gavin is out, okay?
Oh, yeah.
He's out.
He got burned with that fire. He's out.
He sure did. And getting burned with the recovery, too. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He is literally cooked.
Yeah. Yeah, he's good. All right. I do have a couple of super chats here. We have some additionals. Uncle Arthur says, with the $2 super chat, says, thank you so much. Certainly appreciate you. All right. Raymond Cadillac with the $10 super chat says, my favorite people, no leftist will ever debate y'all because you will eat them alive. Thank you for all you do. I love watching, listening, and learning. You all like family. God bless. Oh, God bless
you.
Raymond, thank you so much. All right. Clinton says, thanks for all you guys do. Much love from Massachusetts. All right.
All right, Clinton.
Thank you. All right. Navy Sharks with the $20 super chat. Thank you. Says, you spit nothing but facts. God bless each and every one of y'all. Thank you. Certainly appreciate you. Thank you so much, folks. We will be back on Wednesday night live at 8 p.m. right here on Pop and Politics. If you haven't done so already, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when we go live. You folks, you can also check out Soldiers of Finance right here on YouTube, who we have here as our guest every Monday night. He has his YouTube channel, Soldiers of Finance. Check him out there. And tomorrow, All American Talk Show. The All American Talk Show channel here on YouTube. They will be live at 6:30. Great content. Check them out. And then again, we'll be back on Wednesday. Yep, there they are. The All American Talk Show. They're tomorrow at 6:30. And again, we will be back on Wednesday at 8 p.m. All right, folks. Thank you so much. Until next time, count your blessings and live a life of purpose. Good night.